जय श्री जगन्नाथ। तो आज यूट्यूब क्लास को समस्त को स्वागत। टुडे we are supposed to have an important discussion, that is functions of language. So everybody be attentive, and whatever I am teaching you today in this class is quite essential and desperately necessary in your day-to-day life situations. By the way, language functions. First thing is that already we know that language is meant for communication. That means whatever our tendencies, desires, attitudes, feelings, we are supposed to express by the medium of language. That means language is the medium of communication. So language is the medium of communication. So communication is an important aspect. Communication serves purpose, multiple purpose of individuals in society. That means functions of language is indicating multiple purposes of the individuals in the society. What is the multiple purposes? That means we have to express ourselves not in a fixed continuum, not in a fixed context. Always the context will be changing conditions. So different context we have to express in different ways. That means contextualized best response must be there. Otherwise our response cannot be meaningful. Suppose I am in a professional setup. So my talkings, my expressions, my communications will be professional. I am with my friends. My chatting, my conversation will be different. So depending upon the context, our communication is also varying. That's why I have told the functions of language, it serves the multiple purposes of individual in the society. So different linguists have categorized the functions of language under different heads. But today, one of the most reputed linguist, Roman, that is Jacob's classification, he has classified language under 6 categories. So what are the 6 functions? We'll go one by one. First is a referential function. What is referential function? That means the speaker is giving a reference. He is giving a description regarding the objective statement of a fact. Okay, that means he is describing a fact. An example will make it more clear. For example, oil floats on water. It is a fact. The sun rises in the east. So we are giving some reference. We are giving some description, objective statement of fact. Particularly it is used in journalism sector, in education sector, in scientific sectors, because in all these sectors we are describing different facts. So this is about referential functions of the language. Let's proceed to emotive function. Emotive means expressive, the word emotion. That means whenever the speaker is expressing his emotions, so he uses a variety of language, variety of context, and he uses his expression in a variety of way. For example, I'm so happy today. I'm so sad today, like that. That means we are expressing our emotions. Mostly the emotions we show to our friends, that means it is used in our friend circles, in our day-to-day conversations, in our casual speeches, in our formal diaries. So it is used in this context. Then let's proceed to conative function. Conative functions means it demands the listener to do something. That means the speaker is desiring from the listener to do some actions. The speaker is desiring something from the listener. He is giving some instruction. For example, please close the door. Please switch on the fan. That means he is intending to do something. So this is mostly used in advertisements, in instructions, instructional setups, and in some conversational setups also. This is the practical use. Then we'll proceed to fatigue function. So what is fatigue function? Fatigue function means here the wish of the speaker is to maintain social relationship, personal relationship. That means the speaker wants to maintain relationship with his different fellows, with his friends, with his seniors, juniors. So what type of communication will you use? For example, I am giving an example. How do you feel today? Are you happy? What's the problem with you? So this is something about the fatigue function. That means by this communication we are maintaining some relationship with our relatives. Then metalingual function. This is one of the most important function because metalingual function indicates the speaker's attention to clarify the language itself. That means the speaker is intended to express the components of language. It is mostly it happens from the teacher's point of view because teachers are using metalingual functions. Teachers, lecturers, professors, because they are imparting the instruction. They are imparting the language. In what way? For an example, I'll make it clear. Suppose I'll ask you, what do you mean by metaphor? Or what do you mean by simile? What do you mean by hyperbole? What do you mean by aesthetics? So these are the different functions of language. So to clarify the language itself, it is mostly used in instructional settings. It is mostly used in teaching of prose, teaching of poetry, composition, so on and so forth. So this is all about the metalingual function. The last function of the language is poetic function. This is also an important function because we are teaching poetries, but doesn't mean that the poetic function is only teaching of poetry. It means the aesthetics use of language. It means the aesthetic qualities of the language. So aesthetics, that is poetic function, and metalingual functions are closely related. What is the difference between metalingual and poetic function? The metalingual functions includes the structure of the language and the grammatical parts of the language, but in case of poetic functions, the teacher is highlighting the functions of language, but particularly is touching the aesthetics aspect of the language. So this is about poetic. An example, I am giving an example of poetic function of language. Suppose you are making a slogan, we are reciting poetry, we are involving some aesthetic values among the learners. So this is about poetic functions. These are the different 6 categories of functions according to Roman linguist Jacobson. So again, I'm just in a nutshell, I'm speaking referential function, making some reference to some objective statement of facts. Then emotive functions to express our emotions, desires. Then conative functions, the attention of the speaker, the mood of the speaker is to desire some action from the learner. That is conative functions. Then fatigue function. Fatigue function means to maintain social and personal relationship. So here the speaker desires to establish relationship with his neighbors, relatives, so on and so forth, with his kith and kins. So such type of communication he makes. Next is metalingual function. This is very important function of the language. Here the speaker desires the actions regarding the functions of language. That means to clarify the language itself. Then the last one is poetic functions. It is mostly touched and focused with the aesthetics qualities of the language. So this is all about the 6 functions of the language. Above all, if we categorize the functions of language, then we can, in a nutshell, we can say that the most important functions of the language to express communication of facts and our objectivity, our purpose, then social personal relationships, our emotions, and our using our language in a variety of social contexts. This is about the functions of language. Then let's proceed to usage-oriented vocabulary. What is the word usage? First we understand. We should understand what is usage. Usage means use according to the age. जो समय रे जो जिनसर व्यवहारिकता अच्छी तामाने it is mostly related with practical aspect. तो practical context रे को प्रकार आमे vocabulary use करिबा. So usage related context mostly refers to the real life communication. That means the day-to-day life communications. It is purely practical in nature. It is purely dynamic in nature. It is purely contextual dependent. Suppose contextual dependent means, suppose I am using an informal language regarding a child. Child or informal language ta kon hi pare context re kids hi pare. Mane karo scientific setup achi taku ame offsprings boli kahiba. Mane karo neutral samti kichi context nahi. To child boli kahiba. So different context re ame gote example ame dauche. So differently ame use korche. That is the contextual dependence. And dynamic in nature means आजिकल जनरेशन पिला मानकर जो यूसेज वोकैबुलरी आम समय यूसेज वोकैबुलरी भितर डिफरेंस अछि आजिकल पिला माने टेक्निकली स्मार्ट दे आर यूजिंग डिफरेंट कम्युनिकेशन स्टाइल्स सो this aspect of communication changes with culture. changes with age, changes with society. So this is about the features of usage-oriented vocabulary. So let's now highlight regarding the types of usage-oriented vocabulary: formal setup, non-formal setup, technical setup, and the last one is colloquial setup. Formal setup communication केमती होगा जमती का official communication, professional communication, legal proceedings, औपचारिकता जोठी भाषार औपचारिकता व्यवहार करा जाए आमे एमती आलतू फालतू वे कथबार्ता करि परिबानी. So mostly it is official communication, formal setup. Non-formal, our chats with friends, mostly in WhatsApp, Insta, we are doing the chats with our friends. So here we are not using formal language. We are using informal language, shortcut languages. That is informal setups. Then technical setups. Suppose I am a scientist. My words will be different. I am a mathematician. I'll use the words algorithms, that is sets, different statistical terms, mean, median, mode, all these things. So I am a philosopher. I'll use the words like metaphysics, epistemology, axiology. I am a psychologist, motivation, transfer of learning. So in different technical context, the concerned technician will use that type of communication, that type of language. And the last one is colloquial. एटा हमर सब गां गळे चले प्रचलित भाषा, लोकल लैंग्वेज जेमते कि गोटे लैंग्वेज गोटे वर्ड मु कहूची lit मीन एक्साइटिंग. तो एक्साइटिंग वर्ड ता लोकल लैंग्वेज तका lit बोली कहउचंदी. बेंगे मीन्स कंटीन्यूअसली वाचिंग. तो एमती हमर सब लैंग्वेज रे किछि लोकल शब्द अछि जहा को से लोकल कलोकियल रे ही बुझी हो ताको हमें फॉर्मल सेटअप रे बुझी परिबन. लोकल पर्सन्स आर यूजिंग दैट लैंग्वेज. सो दिस इज कलोकियल सेटअप्स. सो रिगार्डिंग द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ यूसेज ओरिएंटेड वोकैबुलरी: formal setup, non-formal setup, technical setup, and colloquial setup. We can also use slangs in the colloquial setups. So this is about usage-oriented vocabulary. And the last point of discussion is about neutral vocabulary. Neutral vocabulary, the very word neutral means, you know what is the maintenance of neutrality. It is ascribed, it is different from all the cultural associations, from style associations, from emotional associations. Suppose an example I am giving: chair. It is having no any emotional setup or emotional association. I am giving an example: mobile. I am giving an example: short. I am giving an example: start. So these are all the neutral vocabularies. Suppose start, I will use a different word, comments. Then that converts into non-neutral. If I am speaking start, it is neutral. If I am speaking comments, that is non-neutral. If I am speaking old, this is neutral. If I am speaking antique, this is non-neutral. That means neutral language is very common. It is having no emotional association, no stylish association, and no such cultural association. It is quite neutral. So this is all about the discussion today: functions of language, usage-oriented vocabulary, and neutral vocabulary. Finally, I can say that all these things, finally, it is used for effective communication. If we are having a practical knowledge of referential sectors, cognitive sectors, emotive sectors, formal setups, non-formal setups, technical setups, variety of context. So in a variety of context, we have to use a variety styles. So communication will be likewise. So this is all about the discussion. For making effective communication, we must have one clear idea about the functions of language. Thank you. If any confusions, any dilemmas, any doubts exist in your mind, you can pass me on comments in this channel. I can see it and I can consolidate it. In the next class, I'll give a better perception regarding this. Thank you all for watching my lesson. Thanks again. Jai Sri Jagannath.